to resist being turned into a killer squad for hire by politicians and a regime suffering acute legitimacy deficit. We appeal to our police to maintain their professionalism, that's once again, that has been seen from some of its members who have participated in UN missions across the globe with enhanced individual careers and who have lifted the image of our country. We appeal to them to resist being used to provide cover to tribal militia that kills people in the name of policing. A time comes when all the crimes will be answered for by everyone involved, including Ruto himself. They need to think and think again before committing these crimes against citizens. We remind Ruto and the entire police service that responsibility for protection of Kenya is not a shared duty. Under our constitution, the duty bearer is the state and the law enforcement agencies. As protesters, what is required of us is just to give a notice that we'll be having a procession. We have given adequate notice. It is their duty to ensure that no criminal elements infiltrate the protests and turn them violent. And in our experience, it is the police who have turned peaceful protests violent. We take this opportunity to thank the UN Human Rights Office for calling out the government, the Ruto regime, over the use of excessive force by police to quell protests. Indeed, the use of force has been unnecessary and totally disproportionate and has included use of firearms and shooting with an intention to kill and actually killing. We have always appealed to our protesters to remain peaceful, and we ask them to continue doing so. We urge our people to obey the law, respect private property and even public property in the course of protests. We maintain that we have always been peaceful until police decide to import violence, bullets and tear gas into our protests. A couple of days ago, we were able to get into town, address Kenyans, and dispersed peacefully without any injuries or deaths. We were also able to have lunch and hold impromptu meeting with the people at Kenyatta Market, which also ended very peacefully. Because there were no police, all our engagements are peaceful until the police show up and unleash violence. We reiterate that we have instructed our lawyers to prepare and institute legal proceedings against police officers who have gone against their constitutional duty of protecting life and property of Kenyans during protests. In this regard, we are appealing to all Kenyans of goodwill who have photographic or video evidence of police brutalizing citizens to share the same with us to aid the case that our legal team is working on. We further ask Kenyans to resort to citizen journalism and photography and to film state officers, including police and politicians, who in the course of duty abuse and brutalize Kenyans. We appeal to Kenyans to take very seriously the unfolding chain of events. A new dictatorship is slowly taking root through nepotism, corruption, use of force, getting rid of opponents, and suspension of the Constitution. We call on Kenyans to put on their old armor of courage and work to take their country back before this dictatorship takes firm roots. We encourage Kenyans to continue picketing, demonstrating, and protesting in their own ways in their own local areas as much as they can. Our voices must be heard. In Nairobi,